Welcome to the IgnoreLimits podcast, where it's all about taking your mind and body to the next level. If you want to gain muscle, shred fat, and become successful in life, this is the podcast for you. And here's your host, SJ. He's an Amazon bestseller author, blogger, and fitness fanatic that's here to help you transform your body and mind with easy-to-follow, proven methods.
Hey guys, SJ from IgnoreLimits here. Today I just wanted to talk to you guys about 3 tips to become an ultra producer. So essentially everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, guys, yet some people manage to get so much more done than others, and other people just complain, there's not enough hours in the day, I couldn't get all the stuff done that I need to get done. Why is that? What separates these people, the people that have reached the echelon of success, that are getting shit done, from those who just sit at home and whinge and can hardly get anything done? From my personal experience, I used to be lazy, I used to not get a lot done. It comes down to the habits and the way that you actually go about completing the tasks you need to get done. So I'll talk to you about the three main tips that I recommend you guys implement if you haven't already. One or two of them may seem quite obvious, however, they're quite overlooked actually. So tip number 1, guys, is eliminate all distractions. I know that sounds obvious, but the thing is most people don't actually do it. I mean, if you've got a business report to work on, if you need to go to the gym, if you need to, spend time with someone, whatever it is you need to do, you need to eliminate as many distractions as possible. So that comes down to, getting rid of things like the radio, definitely putting your smartphone aside or turning it off for the meantime. Surfing the internet, TV, mainly electronics, any sort of form of distraction that you may have, eliminate it as best you can or mitigate the chances of it interfering with what you're doing. Because studies have shown it takes around 20 to 25 minutes after a small distraction, say, for example, replying to a text message, a phone call, a conversation with someone else, it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to get back on track. And that's actually a study that was performed at Microsoft, guys. So that is a legitimate time figure there. Step number 2 comes down to eliminating multitasking. People that multitask seem to think that, they're that much more efficient than others and, that what they do, they can get shit done basically. But when you multitask something, and there is scientific proof, I'll link some studies with this podcast. If you're looking at this on the IgnoreLimits.com post, you'll be able to click those links and have a look. But basically there is studies that have been performed that show that people that are multitasking are actually far less efficient than those that just concentrate on one task. Because this does make complete sense if you think about it. The person that's multitasking is trying to focus on, a minimum of 2, maybe 3 or 4 things at once. And basically they're half-assing all of it because they're not dedicating, their brain, they're not focusing 100% on one task at hand. So they're doing several tasks. Chances are they're doing the tasks sloppy, so they're not doing them well. They're taking longer to do them because, they're juggling between things. And the quality of the work is far less than that if it was solely focused on. It's going to take longer and it's just inefficient. I used to try and multitask. To be honest, I wasn't very good at it, but it's not a good thing to do regardless, guys. And so instead of multitasking, what I recommend doing is actually called batch tasking. So some of you may have heard of that before, some of you may not. Batch tasking is when you pick a particular thing that you need to do. For example, let's say, for me, writing a blog post. I won't just sit down and write one blog post, guys. I will batch task that activity, which means I'll sit down and I will write 3, 4, possibly up to 5 blog posts at once. Because once you're in the zone and you're doing the task, it's that much easier to keep going. Another good example is, say, doing a podcast or filming a video. If you're, for example, with this one, I have to set up my microphone, I have to go in the studio, I have to get my computer set up. What's the point of going in there to record one podcast when there's all the setup time and, packing away, editing, etc., all that time involved? It makes sense to batch task and do multiple at once. It's just far more efficient. Same goes for with, homework, for example, doing the dishes, laundry, anything, guys. So do it once, but do as much of it as you can, as opposed to, writing an article here and then, a few hours later writing another article or waiting till the next day. It's not the way to go about it. It's far less efficient than than batch tasking. So if you haven't already, try and batch task as many of the tasks you need to do repetitively as you can. You'll be left with that much more free time, and chances are the quality of the work that you are doing will increase because you're in the zone and you've focused on it. Okay guys, that leads us to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is eat and exercise well. Basically, if you're eating processed foods and you're not exercising at all, you're going to have no focus, you're going to be lethargic, you're not going to have the energy to focus, you're going to be all over the place. And I speak from previous experience with this. If you eat crap, you're not going to be able to focus. So what you need to do is you need to eat clean, and by clean foods I mean foods that are high in micronutrients, so things that are loaded with your vitamins and essential minerals, because those are required for healthy cognitive brain function and just overall well-being. If you feel better, you're going to perform better, and also if you have that cognitive advantage from the vitamins, minerals, etc., you're going to do so much better work. Exercise as well, guys, that's a huge one. So that's great for stress relief, and physically, after performing some heavy lifts or cardio, etc., regardless of what you're doing, you're going to feel mentally fatigued, but you're also going to feel you're going to feel physically fatigued, but you're going to feel mentally energized. So they call it runner's high, for example. After you finish running, the feeling that you have is you can't replicate it any other way. And so if you do some exercise and then go in to do your paperwork, whatever it is, this can apply to anything, guys. Whatever it is that you need to do, you're going to be that much more efficient at it. You're going to get it done better. The quality of your work is going to be that much higher. And yeah, those are essentially the 3 tips I have for you if you want to increase your productivity. I mean, this can apply to anything like fitness, business, relationships. It works all around, guys. So give those 3 tips a try. If you've got any other great tips, let me know. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Ignore Limits podcast. Be sure to visit the blog, www.ignorelimits.com, for more podcasts, videos, and articles to help you take your life to the next level.